Oh, good afternoon. It's Sunday the 11th of January. I did do a video in the week, but somewhere it got lost. Don't ask me where, I got no idea. It was on the camera. I edited it, pressed save. When I opened up the camera again to download it, it was gone. So that's it. What a week. Snow, rain, ice, wind. I think the UK's had a bit of everything in the last 10 days. Today we've got a light wind and intermittent rain. Very cold, very dreary. Mind you, I say very cold, it's not that cold today. I suppose it's maybe 6 or 7. So, hey, they reckon there's going to be 11 centigrade this week on a couple of days, so let's hope. Any case, are you getting bored like me? You've got fired up and ready to go? I am. And guess what? I'm seeding. I am sowing seed. Now, I didn't film it, or I did film it, but I lost it. So you just have to bear with me. This is what I've sown. So I'm going to go through and show you what I've sown, and we'll go from there. So let me bring this here. Now the first thing I've sown, of course, is the mesclun mix, salad mix, which you may remember. I like to sow this, and I sow all the time because then you can cut and come again, or you can just cut it and use it as a single crop. I like to cut and come again, try and make it last a month. The other thing I've sown is sprouting peas. There we are, and these are starting to sprout. Let me see if I can bring you down. Starting to sprout nicely. You just got to remember to keep them damp and moist. I cover them to start with a bit of card, and once they start putting some proper growth on, then I'll uncover them. The other thing I've got is I had a small packet. It was a very small packet of cress. Now I thought there was more in there than there was, but it was very meagre seed packet, and that's cress, and that's growing. I'm doing it the old-fashioned way. We used to do this at school, sew it on blotting paper. In this case, it's not blotting paper. What it is, it's artist watercolour paper. Never enough the same. It soaks up the moisture, soaks up the wet, keeps damp. Spray it twice a day, the same as with the peas and the mesclun mix, and you're away. And that will be my first crops of the year. I'm still eating parsnips from last year, so I've got the parsnips from last year in the freezer. I've got still about a 2 kilo bag of frozen little mini tomatoes to make soups. I must get onto that and use them a bit more. I think that's all the veg I've grown myself. There. Rest of what I've sown is, now you may think this is, I'm going to bring you down, pomegranate seed. Now these go on the propagator tray. They're at the top on. They go on a propagator tray which is plugged into the electric on the window. Now these are pomegranates. There we go. These are by Edible Tree. Okay, it's She Grows Veg. These are Edible Tree, She Grows Veg, and these are pomegranate seeds. Hey, give it a go and see what happens. The other thing I've sown is goji seeds. Goji bushes are quite expensive, the same as little pomegranate bushes. Now goji berries are supposed to be good for you, and there again, She Grows seed, goji berry bushes. Give it a go. Never know. I've grown pomegranates in the garden before, but what I forgot to do was in the winter bring them into the greenhouse. Yeah, I know you're saying you haven't got a greenhouse. No, but I've got a house, so they can come indoors. They can go in the lounge, on the table which is in front of a window. They can sit there all winter, no problem, they'll be fine. The other thing is I've started off some edible passion fruits. Now there again, these are she grows veg. You have to soak these for 24 hours in fruit juice. So they're in fruit juice soaking. And I'll bring it down, see if you can see the seed. There we are. Don't forget to put a label in if you're soaking seed. So easy to forget and think, oh, I remember what they are, and then you go, oh good, I don't know what they are. Put a label in. Makes life a lot easier. Also, I am growing some pink velvet banana. There again, she grows veg. These are an indoor banana, grows to about, what's it say, 1.2 meters in height. Yeah, that'll be fine. And you have to soak these for, let me see, 3 days. There again, a label. And there we are. Make sure the label's in there. And you change the water on these every 24 hours. Right. What else? Oh yeah. Now, I've bought some apricots. I do like apricots. Apricot bushes are, I find, quite expensive. Well, I'm all for one for trying things out. So I thought, okay, these are from South Africa. They're sowed. Yeah, Soldone, Soldone. They came from Tesco's. There was about $1.99, something like that. So what I've done, I planted 3 seeds. Now these will go on to the heated propagator, the same as the edible tree, the pomegranate and the goji berries. And then eventually the passion fruit and the pink velvet banana, when I sow them, will also go on the tray. The tray is a propagator tray, which has come from, which I bought about 2 years ago from King's. It works really well, keeps the seeds at a nice temperature, around about 23, around about 22, 23. So perfect for getting these started off. I'm also sowing some coriander. I think it's also in the States, is it cilantro in the States? But I'm growing them in a recycled instant porridge oats tub. Okay, and I've got a little Greg's coffee cup top. Pop that on the top like that, and that'll keep the moisture in, have to keep them warm, and off I'll go. I've also sown some various other seeds. Right, let me take you off of the stand and I'll bring you down and show you what's going on. Right, so these I sowed beginning of the week. Now in here is 5 Alice Craig onions there. I don't think those two are supposed to be in there. I think they're supposed to be in there. Along there. Here is some cottagers kale. There's 2 rows of cottagers kale here, so that's 10 lots of cottagers kale, which is a short-lived perennial kale. It won't last as long as some of the bigger, tree and bush-like kales, but it should last for a couple of years, and you can take, from what I'm told, you can take cuttings to keep it renewed. I've also sowed some lavender along here. These will be for presents, so they'll stay indoors once they eventually germinate. They'll stay indoors until I'm ready to give them away. And then I've sown 10 wild garlic, 10 pots of wild garlic. So wild garlic comes from Mr. Fothergill's. There it is. The cottager's kale, there again, she grows veg. The onion, which is Ailsa Craig, I should say, is King's. And what else? I sown the lavender. The lavender was a giveaway by the local church. So I made a donation and picked up a packet of seed. Right, now I'll move on to the next one. Right, in these, I've sown 5 more lots of Ailsa Craig, onions along there. In here I've sown 5 lots of leek elephant. This is Mr. Fothergill's. And then I've sown 10 more lots of Ailsa Craig. But they may not be Ailsa Craig. I think I made a mistake here. I think these are a dwarf curled kale. Yeah, I'm pretty sure they're a dwarf curled kale. But we'll have to wait and see because I'm not sure. So I made a mistake. I'm sure I did. And then I've got some Aquadorse Claudia. I've got 9 trays of Aquadorse Claudia. Now, why I say I think I made a mistake, because somewhere along the line, I also sowed some leeks. And yeah, you guessed it. I made that mistake. So I'm going to have to wait for them to come through, then I'll find out. Alright, so I've got the tops back on. Now what I tend to do is keep the vent lids shut. That keeps the moisture in there. I water the seeds when I put them in. I spray them. A little bit of water on the bottom just so that the pots get fully wet. But I make sure that I don't put too much in. And then I leave them like this now, shut up. They're near the radiator, which is just at the end there. And they'll stay there now till they come to a good height. I've got something which should be coming tomorrow, which I'll show you next week. And I'll put it together. And then once they're big enough, everything that I've got sown there should be able to go outside. And these will stay indoors for now. I've got some more stuff in the window, which is over here. This is Christmas rose. Now, as you can see, it's coming in flower. Now, this died. It died a death. Went completely brown. I shoved it in the old greenhouse. When I took the greenhouse down, I found it and took it out. It looked a bit better than it did. And I'm thinking there's little new shoots on here as well. So I'll put it, yeah, some of it's got some dead, but I'll put it in the shed. So I'll put it in the shed by the window and give it a good water. Yes, there's flowers coming on. So we'll wait and see. This is got to be 10, if not years older. So we'll see. This little succulent was also in the shed, in my greenhouse, and that went into the shed and that's come back. And when I went to Oakgate Nurseries at the beginning of the week, because I had to go and get the seed compost, John Innes seed compost I use, the same as last year, I decided to buy myself, because I do love hyacinths, and there's actually 3 there. There you go. And they're just getting ready to come out, and they will smell gorgeous. And that's not bad. Nice decorated pot, $9.99. So once they finish flowering, I'll let them die off, and then I'll store them under the sink at the back of the cupboard until next autumn and then bring them out, and there you go. As you can see, the snow is just about gone completely now. There's a little bit of seed in the raised bed. Bit of snow in the raised bed I'm building, but otherwise not too bad. There is some damage which hopefully I might be able to get out there this week. The rambling rows, I think the supports have gone completely with the weight of the snow. The grasses now are finished. They've gone over, they bent over, so they need cutting down. And this tree here, which I've been on to the council about, is now dropping branches quite a lot. I'm hoping they're going to do something before it falls down, because if it falls down, yeah, you guessed, bang goes the garden. Yeah, and I should not be happy. All I can do is wait and see, and try my best to try and get them to actually do something before it starts collapsing. Well, I think that's going to be it for the moment, because as I did make a good video in the week on Monday, Tuesday, and it's gone. I've got my first lot of potatoes. These are first earlies and Jamesons, and these are one of my favourites, and I do like these. So I think they taste nice. They're Red Duke of York. There's 2 kilos there. They're a dry mealy potato, packed full of flavour, and I can definitely say that. Nice baked potato with some butter and some garlic. Beautiful. And I normally add a bit of smoked salmon to go with them. They're suitable for boiling, baking, roasting and chips. So what more can you want? That's all I want, is that. I don't eat many potatoes, but when I do eat, you know, I make sure that I use them not just as a basic staple, but more as a luxury, because I find I can't eat many potatoes. One, they don't seem to do my weight any good, and there's various health reasons why I'm not supposed to eat many potatoes. Same as I'm not supposed to eat loads of eggs. So nowadays I hardly eat an egg. And I must admit, I do love egg, bacon or ham, chips. Oh yes, lovely. Now, I don't know about you, but I've been going through my seeds, and I've got so many seeds. I mean, you see all these here, there's 12 of these. Each one is a month, and in each month I've got seeds to grow that month. So I'm growing successionally. Did I get that right? Successionally, which means I'm growing so much each month. So like the broad beans, I'm going to sow some for this month, which I've got sown. I'm going to sow some next month. I might be able to sow them outside if I'm lucky. But then I've got wood mice, so I must be sowing them indoors. And then my last sowing of them will be in the beginning of March. So I'm 3 months, 3 sowings. That should mean I get 3 lots of harvests. So I can try and spread the harvest out over the year. I bought a brand new fridge freezer this week, because I know my freezer down here won't do it. So I need another fridge freezer which is bigger. So I've got a 90 litre fridge freezer, ready and up and going. So marvellous. But I've been through my seeds, and 2 of the seeds which I had, packets which I had, one was wheatgrass. Now I must be sow that out there, and I'll use it as a green manure. The other one I've got is pak choi. I do not like pak choi. I've never tried it before, but I tried it this week. I bought some pak choi from the supermarket, and no, it didn't suit my taste buds. The other thing I've done is I had most of my veg seeds, and every month as I sow you'll be seeing what I'm sowing. But what I have brought is from Fothergill's is a packet of borage. Now these are annual borage, so they'll be great. Grow them in with the veg, and then I can use them as fertiliser. I've also brought some trailing African Queen nasturtiums. There again, these are all going to be grown in amongst the veg. These will mostly grow along the side of a new planter, so they trowel down over the edge and down the sides of the new planter. Calendula, pot marigold nova, and there again, I think all of these are Mr. Fothergill, maybe apart from 2. These can be grown in amongst the veg, and the nice thing about these is you can put the petals in with the salad. Don't put the flower in the salad, because I believe that you can't eat the actual flower, but you can eat the petals, and they're a nice addition to brighten up and spruce up a nice dull salad. Marigold, French marigold, Naughty Marietta, that sounds good, doesn't it? There again, these will get sown in amongst the veg. I've also got cornflower. I might sow these out the front on the section of lawn I'm trying to rewild, but we'll have to see. And then I've got poppy. I've got 2 packets of poppy, which these are country value, and they're basic poppy, and these will go mostly out the front as well. When you're buying flowers, annuals, these are all annuals, remember. When you're buying them, if you want to think about nature, make sure that they are open faced. In other words, they're not doubles. The insects can actually get to the pollen inside the flower. If they're doubles, insects find it very hard to get to the pollen, and many insects can't get into the pollen, bees especially, and therefore they get no benefit from them at all. So open faced flowers, as opposed to the doubles and the triple headed, frilly flowers. Now you may say, well, cornflowers look a bit frilly, but they're not, because they've got actually a very little open centre, so the bees and the pollinators can get into them. Well, I'm going to call it that for now, and I'll then go through this week and I'll make a video about all the flower, all the rest of the veg seed I've got and what I'm sowing, about hopefully the parcel that's going to arrive tomorrow, and I'll take you for a tour around the garden. The light's beginning to fade out there now. It's 3:30. I had to go out this morning, otherwise I'd have done it this morning. I could have took you out of the garden. But take care and keep warm, because it's still going to be cold out there. Don't risk it if it snows. It's not worth the risk. Take care. Bye for now.